and for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign. Surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign. Surrender to an all-powerful sovereign.
Hi, Steve here. For the international order that we have worked generations to build, in other words, the New World Order, ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. You see, the globalists see you as a useless eater. You're too small-minded to even govern your own affairs. Order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign. That really sounds like a speech that could be given by the Antichrist himself. And you must understand that everyone who takes the mark of the beast, spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, will do it willingly. They will literally surrender their rights as an individual and agree to give it to the collective so that they can buy and sell. This new world order, this one world government, has been determined from the beginning. And all of the world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, kings, they're all in on bringing it about. This man has made up a different story to try and create urgency and fear for over 30 years. Listen to this clip and count the number of times he's deliberately lied to the American people and the world.
The deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. That would place a militant Islamic terror regime weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
Yeah, he told us they were days away, if not weeks away in 2012. So I guess according to him, the Iranians count years as days. No snake oil salesman would ever try and compete with this man. He wins hands down in bringing a completely different narrative every time since 1995. Are you able to see the setup for extreme numbers of people to be dying with another world war? The weapons used today are far more advanced than you can even imagine. And they are the ones that will be used. Your future, your children's future, is being compromised on every level in this world system right now. Your hope for a brighter future is a fallacy. They want to depopulate on a massive scale, and they are. Their last efforts over the last 4 years have only been able to eradicate 25 to 30 million people.
A chilling new report, suppressed by the mainstream media, reveals that Israel may be plotting a catastrophic false flag attack on American soil, eerily reminiscent of 9/11. The motive? To drag the US into another series of forever wars in the Middle East, this time starting with Iran. According to news from Tehran, Israel's Mossad spy agency was hacked, just days before Netanyahu launched strikes on Iranian targets. The files uncovered? Nothing short of apocalyptic. Among them, blueprints for cyber warfare, targeted assassinations, blackmail material, and even the unthinkable, the Samson option. Israel's doomsday doctrine to blow up the entire world with a nuclear holocaust if their own survival is ever threatened. But the most explosive revelation? A detailed plan for a large-scale false flag attack on American soil, designed to manipulate US public opinion and ignite World War III. Is history about to repeat itself? Or is something even darker on the horizon? Before we dive in, if you're interested in sponsoring this show, please email sponsor@thepeoplesvoice.tv. Our videos attract millions of engaged viewers on X and Rumble. If you're interested in getting your product or service in front of all these people, please email us at sponsor@thepeoplesvoice.tv. The USS Nimitz, a 50-year-old aircraft carrier set for retirement next year, has just been deployed to the Middle East. But why now? Why send an aging warship into a high-stakes conflict zone? Some are asking, is this a setup? Could the Nimitz be a sacrificial pawn, a floating bait, gift wrap for Israel to sink and then blame on Iran? A move designed to manufacture consent for all-out war. Sound far-fetched? It wouldn't be the first time something like this was tried. Remember the USS Liberty. Israel opened fire on American survivors as they floated helplessly in life rafts, using unmarked planes to hide their tracks. The goal? To leave no witnesses and to drag the US into another war on their behalf. Sound familiar? It should, because it worked. US service members describe a deliberate coordinated assault, followed by a cover-up reaching the highest levels of power.
Anything that moved aboard that ship, they were shot at. They took out all of our antennas within 3 seconds. Our 450 caliber machine guns were gone. Every watertight door was hit, and this went on for 25 minutes, dropping napalm on us. 25 minutes of that, you can't imagine. Every second was like an hour. We saw the torpedo boats coming. We thought, the Star of David, oh, good. Because these were unmarked jet aircraft. We didn't know who was attacking us. We thought it was the Arabs. And then we saw the torpedo boats, and the Star of David thought, oh man, here's our best friends who are going to come help us. No, they come to sink us. They fired 5 torpedoes at us. LBJ gets on the phone, and his exact words were, I don't give a GD if all those sailors die. I'm not going to embarrass my ally Israel, like I said in the letter. Now, how did he know that if we didn't know it? Who was attacking us?
So they then have the President of the United States. So this guy's trying to do the right thing, Captain Tully. He's like, we're going to help them. He gets called back by the Secretary of Defense. He's thinking, I'm going to go over his head because this is crazy. And now the President of the United States is saying, I don't care. I don't give a GD if they die. I am not going to embarrass our friend and ally Israel. So he knew. We
were set up by our own government to die.
This wasn't a battlefield mistake, it was a calculated strike. Israel killed 34 American sailors in cold blood aboard the USS Liberty. And instead of holding them accountable, the US doubled down on its support during the Six-Day War. Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is turning up the heat, issuing thinly veiled threats against American lives if the US doesn't once again fall in line. He's demanding support for another brutal blood-soaked war of his own making, and warning of consequences if Washington refuses to play along.
Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead.
It's extortion disguised as diplomacy, and once again, Americans are being asked to pay the price in blood and billions. As Jeffrey Sachs told Tucker Carlson this week, the US gave away its foreign policy to Israel for mysterious reasons, and the results have been devastating.
Israel has driven so many American wars, and we say, absolutely, yes, that's our greatest ally. These have been at huge cost to the United States, cost of trillions of dollars, cost geopolitically, but somehow we gave away our foreign policy to Israel years and years ago, and it's been absolutely devastating. And it's interesting to go back and watch Netanyahu speak to the American people. Go look at a video clip of 2001, 2002. In 2002, in October, he comes and testifies in the Senate, and there's a nice clip of him promising how wonderful the war in Iraq is going to be.
It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how to achieve it. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
Netanyahu has publicly said the September 11th attacks have been good for Israel. Netanyahu said, quote, we're benefiting from one thing, and that is the attack on the Twin Towers and Pentagon and the American struggle in Iraq.
Went to war against a guy who had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. It was a total pretext. It's inexplicable. And there you go to Cheney, there you go to Bush, there you go to the Jewish neocons who wanted to remake the world. Maybe I can say that because I'm Jewish, and to bring about a certain result in the Middle East.
You can.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that you can.
Go ahead.
Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. He says 100% certain. Complete lies, by the way, and they knew that they were lies at the time. And it's going to be wonderful. We're going to topple that dictator, and then dictators are going to be toppled everywhere, and the young people of Iran are going to rise up. This is his idea, together with his U.S. political consultants, together with neocons in the U.S. government for the last 25 years. They have never apologized for dragging the United States into countless wars in the Middle East, spending trillions of dollars running up U.S. debt, and doing what? Creating chaos.
Did you know the infamous weapons of mass destruction narrative wasn't just a barefaced lie, it was a marketing strategy? It came from a focus group, commissioned to find the most effective way to sell a war to the American and British public. Behind the scenes, it was Netanyahu pushing for confrontation, and the Bush administration delivering the script.
We now know not only was it under wrong pretenses, weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist, it was under completely phony, concocted, false pretenses. And in 2002, the Pentagon actually did a PR analysis of how to sell the war to the American people, a unit by a guy named Abe Shulsky. And he came up with a PR strategy, literally public relations, that the right narrative was weapons of mass destruction. So this is not, as it was subsequently told to us, oh, we made a mistake. We didn't know that Saddam didn't have them. This was a concocted narrative in 2002 to justify a war in 2003, to take away a regime that Netanyahu deemed to be hostile to Israel.
This isn't about national security, it's psychological warfare targeting we the people. And the worst part, it's working. Leaders are lying, media is echoing, the public is sleepwalking. And if we don't wake up soon, we're headed for another war that isn't ours. And that could spark World War III. Following the blueprint the globalists have been planning for decades. But all is not lost. There's still time to stop what's coming, and it starts with knowing the truth.
The next years ahead will make that look like a drop in the bucket. If you're one of those people who think there's a big future ahead and that you'll be able to use technology to live forever on this earth, then that means you bought into the New World Order's narrative of transhumanism, transgenderism, and everything else they lie to you about. This brings a scripture to my mind. They promise them liberty when they themselves are the slaves of depravity. For by whatever anyone is defeated and overcome, to that person he is continually enslaved.
For the global elite, Zionism and Islam have always been the perfect power keg. A carefully engineered clash, designed not just to spark World War III, but to bring the world to its knees. The goal? Total collapse, total control. Out of the ashes, they plan to rebuild a new world. One shaped entirely in their image, with no room for freedom, faith, or dissent. Sound far-fetched? Then take a look at the chilling writings of Confederate General Albert Pike, who outlined the Illuminati's blueprint for 3 world wars over a century ago. The first 2, uncannily accurate. The third, unfolding right before our eyes, exactly according to Pike's blueprint. Because, make no mistake, war with Iran will be World War III.
War with Iran will be World War III. Iran is not alone, and it will not remain alone. With Russia, we are at possibility of peace, but we're also at a possibility of nuclear war. They're both very close. And if we go to war with Iran, we make nuclear war all the more likely.
Do you think that the people pushing us toward war with Iran understand that?
No, I think that they're following a plan, clean break, 1996, and a plan, 1991, 7 wars in 5 years. that has been deep set, that has been Netanyahu's baby all the time. Netanyahu, I regard as one of the most delusional and dangerous people on the planet. He has engaged the United States so far in 6 disastrous wars, and he's aiming to engage us in yet one more. We're not standing up for Israel. We are engaging in war on Israel's behalf all over the Middle East. That's a completely different thing. Nothing that has happened in the Middle East has been for American national security. None of it. Not one of these wars. These have been Netanyahu's wars.
Agents like Netanyahu are globalist operatives pushing the agenda of the elites. Now, Trump faces a defining choice: stand with the people or become just another puppet in their game. As Dave Smith says, anybody advocating that America go and fight another stupid, catastrophic war in the Middle East is your enemy.
Benjamin Netanyahu came and testified before Congress in 2002, and he said with certainty that if we overthrew Saddam Hussein, democracy would sweep the region. He also advocated that we had regime change in Libya, Syria, and Iran. And he's still advocating that to this day. You must recognize that anyone advocating that America go fight another stupid, catastrophic war in the Middle East is your enemy. They are our enemies. Anyone who advocates that. If they start talking to you about fighting a war with Iran, you treat them like an enemy that they are. They are not on your side. Our people do not want to fight any more wars in the Middle East, period.
Still wondering how far Israel is willing to go to drag the US into yet another bloody senseless war, costing trillions in taxpayer dollars and countless American lives? Then it's time to take a hard look at what really happened on 9/11. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. For the full breakdown, don't miss our latest deep dive video. It connects the dots they don't want you to see. We can't afford to let history repeat. Because this time, the endgame isn't just another war, it's World War III. As Tucker Carlson warned, if Trump falls for Netanyahu's sleight of hand, his legacy will mirror that of George W. Bush, forever tied to a catastrophic, costly and destabilizing war. All the achievements forgotten, remembered only as the president who was duped into another endless conflict, not for America, but for the globalist agenda.
I actually really love Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you. That's
you get. Look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush. We had, family connections to Bush. I knew Bush personally. I still see Bush sometimes, and of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq, and that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once domestically, right, to improve the country.
Right.
And you may agree or disagree, but in his mind, he wasn't just about the invasion of Iraq in March of 2000.
Oh, no. He was going to redo Social Security.
100%,
He had all types of. He was going to take care of the entitlements issue.
And he really thought it was going to work.
Yep.
And you could laugh at that or whatever, but the point is, the second you get enmeshed in a real war, not a fake, let's go bomb the villagers and declare success, though we don't even have a good track record. Why are the Houthis still there? There's a whole other question, right, which is how prepared is the U.S. military for a real conflict? And the answer is totally unprepared. Scary unprepared. I don't think people understand that. But anyway, the only reason I'm saying any of this is because I really, really care.
Nothing can save you. Nothing can keep you from being murdered by people you'll never know. We're all going to die at one point or another, but when you die, where will you spend eternity? That's the main question everyone should ask themselves. Do you want to live for eternity with God? The time for your decision is before you're dead, because after that, it's too late. Jesus told us that He is the way to eternal life. If you believe Him, you will be saved. If you don't believe Him, you'll believe almost anything. This is what every other religion is: a lie, a total lie. Think about it. Now, I want to tell you about some special things that are coming up. First of all, we've got a brand new store site that's on the way. It's being worked on right now, and I can tell you, it's awesome. And for those of you who want to get a special deal on some of the incredible stuff that we're going to have on this website, I want you to go and sign up if you're not already a member on Substack. Substack is, I found out it's really one of the best platforms I've ever used. So many things I like about it. One of the things I like about it is that it connects me with all of the people who view all of our information. And thanks to all of you who support us at thinkaboutit.online. I just want to say that I'm going to offer something very special to all of our Substack followers, all of our Substack members. I'm going to offer it specially to you. I'm going to get the word out early just to those people that are on our Substack. So please, if you're not on Substack, go to our thinkaboutit.online, the website, and there's a form right over on the right-hand side. The right-hand side? Yeah, the right-hand side. So do that today if you're not already on Substack. Thank you so much to everyone who supports us. We really need your support, and we appreciate it so very, very much. God bless you. God help you. God give you wisdom to live in these last days. Thank you.